Hello and welcome to the Hindu Lives Matter YouTube channel. There are targeted killings against Hindus by Muslim mobs going on in Bangladesh as we speak. Haradon Roy, the only Hindu councillor of Rangpur City Corporation, was beaten to death by Kota activists today, August 5th, 2024. Haradon Roy was the president of Rangpur Mahanagar Puja Ujjapon Parishad, the organization that organizes the Hindu religious activities in that area. He was the general secretary of the Metropolitan Poshuram Thana Awami League also. The incident happened around 1 p.m. on Sunday, August 5th. Kota activists caught him from in front of Kalibari temple in the heart of Rangpur metropolis. Then, after beating him to death, the killers danced on his dead body in a display of medieval rage and hatreds. Then they tied the legs of the dead body with a rope and dragged it through the streets. After taking the body in front of the city corporation office, the body was hung upside down on the overbridge on the highway. Then at some point, the rope got torn by the weight of the dead body, and the mutilated body fell to the ground. The dead body lay there for 6.5 hours without anyone securing it or handling it with due respect. The events were taking place in broad daylight in the presence of thousands of people calling for ouster of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. The police recovered the body around 7 p.m. more than 6.5 hours after the mob killed Haradon Roy, when the relatives and the district leaders of the Puja Ujjapon Parishad begged the mob to allow them to take the dead body for cremation. After explaining to the agitators, they rescued the dead body and took it to the morgue. Councillor Haradon's body is still lying in the morgue. In another incident in Raiganj of Sirajganj district, another Hindu man, Communist Party of Bangladesh president, journalist Pradeep Bhaumik, was also thrown out of the press club yesterday by these student protesters, or better can be called as Taliban revolutionaries of Bengal. Pradeep Bhaumik was killed in similar manner by the mob. The extremist mob attacked and looted scores of Hindu temples and properties across the country. I want to stress to the discerning citizens of Bangladesh and the whole world community that these kinds of heinous murder simply cannot be the work of the ordinary students. This is a highly targeted and premeditated killing. This is to send fear through the spine of Hindu minorities across Bangladesh. This is a terroristic act and is done by ruthless terrorists and brainwashed radicals, those who have no regards for human lives, that practice other faith. Only the highly trained and the likes of ISIS, Al-Qaeda and Taliban can do such heinous things. Look at what has been happening in the other parts of the country. Just in the last 24 hours, they torched 27 police stations or police outposts throughout the country, killing 14 policemen and wounding hundreds. More than 100 people were killed in the last 24 hours across the country alone. The previous day, they killed a Hindu police constable named Suman Gharami in Khulna district. This is no longer a student movement. It is a killing mission, and it is done to change the color of the country, to change the identity of the country, to cleanse the country of its remaining minorities and transform the country into an Islamic state. When a movement veers from its course and causes violence and bloodshed, it is always assumed that people who are leading it would pause and take stock of the movement and stock of what is happening. In this case, we have not seen these people trying to stop the bloodshed. We did not hear anything like that from those leaders. These so-called leaders are not willing to stop the bloodshed. They are calling on the students and people to take arms against the government and authorities. This is simply treason. This is simply terrorism. But brunt of their terror is directed against the Hindus who are minorities in Bangladesh. I like to stress that population of Hindus in Bangladesh have been diminishing ever since the country was founded through a bloody war against Pakistan in 1971, in which Hindus made the highest sacrifice of all groups. However, the Hindus never reaped the benefit of the independence, reaped the benefit of their sacrifice. Hindu people have fled the country in a steady stream of exodus, from 22% in 1971 to 8% today, according to official count. Hindus have no rights and liberty in the country, and every single movements and elections that have occurred in Bangladesh in the last 53 years only added to the misery of Hindu people. Hindus have become the punching bag of Muslim extremists. These so-called anti-quota protesters are no different. There is a silent genocide going on in Bangladesh against Hindus. I call on the world community to step up to protect the besieged Hindus in Bangladesh. I call on the Indian government, the government of Prime Minister Modi, to step up and protect the Hindus of Bangladesh. I call on Hindus of Bangladesh to unite, to stand up and fight for their families. What is happening in Bangladesh right now is the consequence of the appeasement policies of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina towards the extremists, who have proven again and again that they are not to be taken lightly, that their only goal is to establish hard Islam in Bangladesh. They have waited for their time, and their time has come. Now the question is, are Bangladesh government and the whole world community prepared to tackle them? If not, it may be too late to save the Hindus of Bangladesh. I urge the United States, the United Nations, Canada, EU, United Kingdom, Japan, and all progressive nations in this world to save the Hindus of Bangladesh. Thank you.